It has been called one of the largest and fastest growing independent school systems in the country, and it's represented here in Louisville. In our family-friendly segment, we share the who, what, where, and whys of Waldorf.
There are 2,000 Waldorf schools around the world, 83 countries, and we're very lucky here in Louisville. We have the only Waldorf school in the state of Kentucky. It's a classical academic core for children from birth all the way up through elementary school. We infuse every day with the arts, movement, and joy in learning. The children learn Japanese and Spanish. They learn to knit, and they learn to play the flute and the violin and to sing. We know that art is an extraordinary way to bring the academics to the young child.
The child who really works with the imagination, with the physical body, with movement, poetry, drama, in connection to the subject matter, really it goes deeply into them, and they remember it, and they can remember it years and years later.
One way to describe Waldorf education is the deep and broad way that we approach the child through their head, their heart, and their hands. Children are whole beings, and in order to be strong students and strong workers later in their lives and have healthy relationships and to fulfill their highest goals and destiny, they need to be treated as a whole person. Rudolf Steiner, an Austrian scientist, founded the first Waldorf school in 1919 in Stuttgart, Germany.
I had been studying the philosophy of Rudolf Steiner since I was 20 for a long time. My grandmother actually had been studying it in her life for many years. After I was introduced to the ideas of Rudolf Steiner's about education, I became a teacher, and that developed into a longing to have a Waldorf school in Louisville.
Physically, the Waldorf school looks very different than most schools. Natural lighting, materials from nature, silk, cotton, wool. We are very intentionally creating a beautiful environment that is warm, that is home-like.
My official title is teacher, but at the Waldorf school we're more like guides. There's a belief that everything that a human being really needs to know is already within them, and my job is to help guide it out of the child through art and movement, social interactions, games. At certain points in a child's life, they are ready for certain types of academics. Some things that are brought too early will need to be brought over and over and over again. But I've noticed by working here that when you bring the right thing at the right time, you don't have to teach it very long, and it goes into them, and they're enthusiastic about it. Well, here at the Waldorf school, the teacher stays with the students through the grades, and I have just finished with the 5th grade class, and I've come back around to the 1st grade. The benefit of staying with the grade is that I am fully aware of the progress of the child. I know where the children are, I know exactly how to teach to them, and I teach specifically to each child.
Another hallmark of Waldorf education is the amount of time children get to spend in nature. We feel that a meaningful connection to the out-of-doors is very important for the growing child. There are very specific cognitive lessons to be learned from playing out of doors. We have a saying, all weather is good weather if you're dressed for it. So yes, we get dirty and we climb and we bundle up when we have extra clothes at school, and the biggest advantage of that is that the children love school.
Knitting's a good thing to do not just with 5th graders, but with all the children. It really helps them become quiet inside and do something that's repetitive and calming, so they really gain a focus. Plus they get these beautiful materials to work with, so they gain appreciation for the yarns which come from the gift of the sheep, the colors which come from the gift of the plants. And also, in this day and age, there are very, very few things that we do that take time to do, so they really see that this is not an instant process. This is something that if I apply myself to it for a period of time, then I will come out with a finished product.
We had Daisy at a private school where the learning was kind of, I always call it like in-your-face learning, where they were just, information just slamming into these kids. And Daisy would get headaches from it. And we figured out that probably wasn't the best school for her. And a friend told me there was a Waldorf school here.
I like Waldorf because it's different than any other school, because they teach you without raising their voice, and you get to make stuff that you didn't do at your old school, like spoons and eggs, rope ladders, and socks.
I am impressed that we have a school still here standing and it's strong, but I'm most impressed with the ripple effect it has had on the whole family life. The parents that are so engaged in studying the philosophy, in creating themselves. So that ripple effect beyond just what we're doing for the children has been so impressive to me. Building a community of learners, not just the children.
If you're interested in checking out the Waldorf School, they regularly offer tours and open houses.